Today, Apple released watchOS 11.5 to the public. Now, for me, this came in at 264 megabytes, but that's really just because I was coming from the betas, so that's going to vary depending on what build you're coming from. But let's go ahead and take a look at the build number on this. So if we go into settings, we scroll down to general and we go to about. The build number is 22T572. Now I'm going to go ahead and talk about battery life right from the get-go because that's what most people really care about. For the most part, I've not had any issues with battery life. It's been really great. I did see on Reddit there was one person that was complaining that their Ultra One paired to, I believe, a 15 Pro was struggling really hard with battery. One thing that I always say, and I'm going to say it again right now, is when you first update, your battery life's not going to be the best. You've got to give it a day or two just to let everything kind of just sink and go through. And then after that, it should level out back to where you were, or hopefully even better than where you were. So, but there are some new features in this. One of them is a little bit hard to understand, and that's because Apple just said, buy with Apple Watch is available when purchasing content with the Apple TV app on third-party devices. So what does that mean? Well, what that means is if you have a smart TV that has the Apple TV app, you can now purchase things in there, whether it be movies, TV shows. You can now purchase it like it does on an Apple TV device. So if you didn't know, when you buy something on the Apple TV, you actually get this confirm with Apple devices, which makes it really easy to buy stuff. You just double tap that side button and it works. But this has never worked before on third-party devices. So if you have like maybe a Roku or another streaming service that has the Apple TV app, you'll now be able to confirm purchases inside that app with your Apple Watch, which is going to be really cool and really awesome. It just makes it so much easier. You don't have to put in passwords or do anything like that. You just double tap the little side button and then you're good to go. Now, along with that new feature, there's also a new watch face. So we'll go ahead and take a look at it. So if you see right here at the new watch faces, it's been placed into here. It's called Pride Harmony. So if we go ahead and add it, it does only have a one complication section. So we'll just go ahead and add the Carrot app. And we're just going to go ahead and add conditions to that and close it out and go into it. So this watch face is, in my opinion, it's not for me, but maybe it is for you. Doesn't really do much. As you can see, the complication is super hard to read. So I've noticed that. Now it does have some animations. So if I go ahead, got to put my fingers there so it thinks the watch is on something. You can kind of tap and it will animate through. This will happen also if you put your wrist down, take it back up. There's also these black lines. I fully don't understand this, but as you can see, no matter what, the complication does get a little easier to see in some, but a lot of them, it's just really hard to read. There is an always on mode as well. Let me see if I can get that for you. There it is right there. So it just has lines instead of the solid colors. So once again, now it's back to the regular and the always on mode. The complication did get a little bit easier to read when I went away from the watch face and came back. So that's good. So now it should even turn black in some cases. If I can get it to animate again, just give me 1 second. There we go. Now when it goes to the yellow, you can see it actually turns black to make it easier to read. So that's good to see. But sadly, this is the only watch face right now, but WWDC is right around the corner and we're going to get our first look at watchOS 12. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I will be making a ton of content as soon as that drops. And I will be installing it on this device as well as soon as it drops. Keep that in mind. We will get some new watch faces there and of course when the new watches are released as well. Other than that, there was not much in the release notes. It basically was just a developer fix for eligibility to offer an intro offer. So that's apps can give you intro offers if you're like a first time subscriber or something like that. And that's basically all that was in the release notes. But there was one other fix that Apple did mention in their initial list, and that is with the watch and charging. So before, we never really had an issue, and some people never had this stop working, but when your watch is fully charged, it will pop up a notification on your phone, and that has been fixed. So if you did have an issue with that, you should start seeing that once you update to watchOS 11.5 and iOS 18.5. So that's good to see. Like, I didn't have that issue for whatever reason. Mine kept working. So I'm not sure why others didn't, but I have seen that notification throughout. So I really like that. Now, obviously, if you have it to where it doesn't charge to 100%, you may have that option when it's on a charger. Sometimes it allows you to charge to 100 or just charges to 80 to preserve battery life. If you're on that, you're not going to get that notification either way. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and since we are talking about battery again, let's go ahead and look at this device. This is a Series 10, and I'm curious to see how the battery health is, because usually around now I will have it drop below 100, but right now we're still at 100, so that is awesome to see. Now, I expect that this, watchOS 12 beta that's coming out soon, I expect it to really put a hit on my battery capacity. So usually those betas are the worst on battery life, and the device can sometimes get a little bit warm. Both of those are horrible for battery, so just keep that in mind. If you're on the fence of ever installing a beta, probably best not to, especially if you're somebody that keeps your watch for more than a year, because they will take a hit on that when you install the betas. Performance wise, everything seems to be really responsive. I've not had any major issues, no lockups. I've not had that little ring of death as it does its like soft reboot system thing. So overall, I've been really impressed with it. Like I said, battery has worked well, and it's just a good update overall. I'm also sure that there's a lot of security updates. Apple doesn't release all those notes until a little bit after the update publishes. Just, they got to stay secure. It just makes sense for them. So I will be reporting on this later on in this week or next week of just how it's doing overall. Also, May 15th is the accessibility day, I believe. And usually Apple does have some accessibility features. That's where the double tap thing came from a while back. So we'll see if anything is reported with the watch. I will also report on that as well. I did want to mention, if you're a fan of this watch band, I do have a full video on it. This is a really nice, high quality leather band. I will put the video link right here if you want to watch it. I think I can also save you a little bit of a percentage off on this band. So be sure to check out that video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.